Tonight, the crossroads of the world becoming a deep dividing point, with Palestinian supporters on one side of the street.
What brought you out here today?
To stand against the oppression that's been occurring in Palestine for over the past 5 decades.
Palestinian people have had enough.
While yards away, a tense face-off with dozens standing up for Israel.
We have a right to exist. We're not doing anything wrong.
I have friends who live in Israel. I have family who live in Israel. I've seen violence there before. We've all seen that, but this is really on another level completely.
As you can see, emotions are running high. This rally is now on the move. We're told they're headed straight to the Israeli consulate.
Palestine will be free from the river to the sea.
And similar scenes playing out across the country.
Right to resist. Right to resist. Right to resist.
The growing movement on both sides heightening security from coast to coast. The NYPD keeping close watch on the ground and in the air, launching drones to monitor today's events. While in Salt Lake City, police increased patrols following unspecified threats targeting Jewish institutions. Synagogues in Miami Beach and Beverly Hills ramping up their presence too. Tonight, the crisis in the Middle East fueling demonstrations thousands of miles away. But despite the conflict, some hope for peace.
People around the world need to be hopeful, here in America and around the world, because whatever divisions we have, our humanity supersedes them.
And Kathy's with us here in New York. So New York City's taking some extra measures now?
Kate, that's right. We saw that today, and we understand that those extra efforts will extend to synagogues and mosques until further notice. Kate?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and time.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans over here in the Western Hemisphere, and to the ones scattered abroad, to the other nations, to the four corners who look like the other nations, but through the patrilineal lineage go back to, indeed, the Israelites. This is a Rumors of War update. Rumors of War update. And this is the word propaganda, and the definition reading information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. And what you're seeing now is propaganda, brought on by Esau Edom, the so-called white man, to justify his cause of coming up against, a sector of the BRICS, which is Iran, which they are claiming is backing Hamas. So in order for them to, set war per se against Iran, they're going to have to demonize publicly, that sector that they are insinuating that's being backed by Iran, which is Hamas. Now Hamas, they saying, is, waging war against Israel in the sense that they are mowing down some of their people, kidnapping the children's, kidnapping women, and all type of things that they can justify waging a war. But this war is not on the scale of, World War III, because World War III, in order for that to take place, the mark is going to have to be implemented first. So what you're witnessing right now is propaganda, coming up against a sector of Iran, which is Hamas, because Iran and Saudi Arabia, both of those countries are over there in that part of the land, which some people refer to as the Middle Eastern, but it's right there, right around Iraq, Israel, and Palestine. So they are using these two individuals, speaking of Israel, which is not the true Israelites that's inhabiting that land in Palestine, who are fighting over that part of that land, which don't belong to neither one of them. Spoiler alert, neither one of them have rights to that land. So that's why you see all this conflict going on amongst both of these nations, because the Bible says when the true Israelites come back to that land, there will be no more war, pursuant to Isaiah the 2nd chapter. So that goes to prove once and for all that those individuals that's inhabiting that land right now are not indeed the true Israelites, because Isaiah 2 and around verse 3 and 4 says they should not learn war anymore, and they should turn their, let's go there and get that. This is Isaiah 2 verse 3, and it says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, speaking of Israel, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So are you seeing the whole world looking to the people that's in that land right now to, obtain the laws and how to live a more perfect life? No, you seeing those people in that land, and contrary to the law, they breaking the law. They having those parades where you have the same individuals interacting and intercourse with each other, which goes completely against the laws in the Torah, where a man should not lay with a man. So you seeing the complete opposite. Verse 4 says, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So you still seeing war going on this earth, showing you that those people who are in that land aren't the true inhabitants. They are not the true Israelites. So if you seen the true Israelites in that land, you wouldn't see any more war going on in this country. Because why? Because the Savior, Yahweh Shah, will come back and put all other nations in subjection to his rulership. But he hasn't come back yet, so that's why you seeing all these wars and rumors of wars popping off and taking place, because that's prophecy, okay? So those people aren't the true inhabitants of that land, and they fighting over a land that don't belong to them in the first place. So you seeing propaganda being put to promote a particular political point of view, which is demonize one part or one party to make them out to be the bad guy, so that the army can be justified of bringing out an attack. Okay, so this is just a wait and see game, seeing what the next move is going to be, because we know in the next year, speaking of 2024 in January, that Iran's supposed to be teaming up with BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa makes up the core, and then they just added on other pieces of it. Iran, I believe Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and a few other countries have put in their application. They supposed to be getting accepted in the beginning of January 2024. So they're going to be all looking to trade within themselves, within their own countries, their own currency. They looking to dump the dollar. So at this point, the U.S. is getting ready to wage war. But this isn't the war spoken of in Revelation 16 in Joel the 3rd chapter, which is World War III. This is just the rumors that's leading up to that, because we know, pursuant to Revelation 16, that the mark has to be implemented first. So let's go there and get that. This is Revelation 16, and let's start at verse 11. let's start at verse 13 where it says Armageddon. And this is Revelation 16, verse 13. And it reads, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon." And what is those 3 unclean spirits? Those are representing the city-state. You got the military, which is Washington, D.C. You got the monetary, the money, which is London. And then you have the religion, which is Rome, the Catholic Church. And it says, and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So those are the 3 unclean spirits, which are represented by the 3 city-states that we just said. The money, London, the military, the Washington, D.C., the U.S., and then the religion, the aspect is Rome. So it says, came out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of the almighty power, which is Yahweh. So he's setting everything up for this day. Okay? This is why Yahweh said, be not, worried, because rumors of wars have to be implemented leading up into that. So it says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world. See, these devils, they work in miracles because they can control the narrative through their media, mainstream media and social media websites. They can propagate whatever ideology they want to the mass people. We're going to get that in Matthew 24. So it says, for they are the spirits of the devil, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle that great day of God Almighty. 15. Behold, this is Yahweh speaking. I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So your garments is speaking of this truth, man. Blessed is he that keep his garments. You stand in this truth. Lest he walk naked, you leave this truth, now you bare naked, and they see his shame. 16, here it is. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So these little scourges you seeing right now, these are steps that's walking these nations into Armageddon, which is going to be in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Getting that in Joel 3. And it says, let's start at 1. The nations will be judged. This is verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. See, that's over there in the land currently, in the region where these 2 countries are allegedly supposed to be, waging war at, which is right there above Israel, close to, in between Palestine, right there in that sector of Iraq. So it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So he's gathering all the nations in that one particular area where he's going to plead with them, judge them, and destroy them all. So that's why you're going to see that draft come into place, because he's gathering the U.S. by the way of, those inhabitants in the land of Israel to bring them into the battle. And then you have the BRICS, which is tied in with what? The Iranians through Iran and Iraq and Saudi Arabia. They're going to be brought into the battle. That's why you had the war in Russia and Ukraine. They're going to be tied in. And then you got NATO, which is the other countries that's helping out the U.S. They're going to be coming in, and they all going to be brought into this particular place where they're going to be judged. But none of this could take place before the mark is implemented. You see? Now let's go there and get that. This is Revelation 14. And let's start at 9. The title is Doom for Worshippers of the Beast. This is Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you see that this mark has to be implemented before the individuals who take the mark is tortured with that fire and brimstone. Now that fire and brimstone represent the missiles that's coming from all parts of the world to destroy America in World War III. Because as of right now, America has never had a war on his homeland. That's why it's referred to as the Virgin Daughter of Babylon, because she has never had a war like that before. Now she has had civil wars amongst her own people, but never attack from other countries. Now we know in Jeremiah it tells all the countries who have the capability of bending the bow, meaning the missile technology, to aim it at this place, which is America. Let's go there and get that. Okay, this is Jeremiah 50 and verse 14. And it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. So this is Yahushua ordering the other countries to put themselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahweh. So you see, Yahweh is telling these other nations who have the capability of nuclear weapon missiles to bend the bow, which is what? Put all your missiles in the silo and aim it at America, which is spiritually Babylon the Great, and let it go. Don't waste none of your missiles. Put them all at array at Babylon, which is America, and let it go. So this is the fire and brimstone spoken of in Revelation, the 14th chapter, which has to be implemented first by the mark, because those who take the mark is going to have this judgment played out for them here in America, where nobody's going to make it out of here. This is going to be a desolate place. So the mark has to be implemented first before World War III can get to this apex where missiles are being flown over. Because we know here, like it says in Isaiah the 47th chapter, let's go there. And this is lament for Babylon, which is America. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. You see, because America is a virgin in the sense that she's never had war brought to her forefront by any other, countries. Outside of her own country having civil war, she's never been touched before. But in that day, when all the countries who have the capability of nuclear missiles shoot them and aim them at America, she's going to be brought down to the dust. So it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right, because she going to be wasted. It's going to be complete annihilation once this place is finished. There ain't going to be no more, raising up Babylon from the dirt, man. This is going to be it for her. Okay? It says that in, what is it? Let's go there. Is it Isaiah 62? It's Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. This is Jeremiah 51 and 8, and it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. So if so be she may be healed. And balm is what you put on cuts and bruises to, help heal it. But verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. There is not going to be any healing Babylon once this takes place. That's it for her. She's never coming back again. She's going to be finished because her job is fulfilled. This is what we were supposed to be brought to serve out our time. So once our time is being served and we waking up, this place is going to come to complete and utter destruction. So it says, verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth into heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So after this place is hit with those nuclear missiles, that's going to be it for Babylon. It's a wrap. So the mark has to be implemented first. So Yahweh told us you're going to hear rumors and rumors of war, but be not what? Let's go there. Okay, this is St. Matthew 24, and let's go down to verse 3, and it reads, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahweh answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And you've been hearing for the longest how these are the true, Israelites of that land, deceiving many, saying they are the people who was given that land by the promise, which is complete and utter false. It says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. And that's what the nation of Israel, or those inhabitants of Israel, has been saying for the last 40, 50 years, since the 1948 Declaration of Balfour, when they was given that land. They weren't, brought back like it says by the Messiah. They was given that land by another, house of their tribe of Esau, which is the Edomites, so-called the white man. So it says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's what you hear. You hear of wars, Ukraine and Russia. You hear rumors of wars. Now you hearing the speculation that this war was caused by this incident, which is the Palestinians versus the, Israelis. It says, For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, because the mark hasn't been implemented. So you're going to hear all this stuff leading up into the mark, and then once the mark is implemented, then the end is nigh at hand, because now the missiles can be released out of their silos and hit their targets, their marks, which is Babylon the Great, America. So it says, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation. You see it in the video that I started off with, that you got individuals here in America that's picking a side who they want to go for, and having little skirmishes and conflicts amongst those who support the Israeli side and those who support the Palestinian sides, because those who support the Palestinian side believe that they have just as much right to the land as those who support the Israeli sides, but neither one of them have rights to the land because they weren't given to the land. So they just fulfilling a prophecy that the Gentiles shall inhabit that land until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So it says, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And you seeing the kingdoms that's going up against each other is those of the Israelis and those of the Palestinians. So it says, there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And you seeing these uproars and riots that's being sparked due to this, propaganda brought on by Esau Edom to justify his cause whenever he get ready to make his move. He already have his troops being imported through the migrant crisis over here in America. So once they implement the law, the M law, they're going to have on standby those troops who can be in a blink of an eye ready to go, because they know that the officers that they have over here already are not going to want to go up against their own people. So they're going to have a backup plan for that by bringing in other people who have no dog in the fight per se, or no horse in the race. They don't care who they mow down, because they have no kin, no close to or next to that's here in America. So they have no bias on what they was, brought over here to execute or to do. So they bringing in M troops under the guidelines of a migrant crisis. And I did a video about that. So it says, and you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. And you seeing famines, lack of food here, earthquakes there, pestilence, this disease here, that disease there. An uptake in this one week and an uptake in the next week in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So you seeing the beginning of sorrows, because once this thing really gets rolling, it's gonna be like back to back, where you can't catch a break if you ain't got the hedge and the protection of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You're gonna be left to defend for your own self. So this is the time you can get it while you can. Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Okay? So this is the time to get it in. You seeing the rumors of wars, which is an indication that we are right here in the last days of this man's rulership, his world. Okay? So you're going to see things continually to progress as we get closer and closer to those growing pains when Yahweh Shai is on his way back. So be not worried that you hearing rumors of war and you hearing about wars, because Armageddon, World War III, hasn't came yet. That mark has to be implemented, okay? And they're gonna try to synchronize all this up at once. So you can't really be prepared, but you through this word, seeing how they're gonna come about and roll this thing out. Okay, so Revelation 11 in verse 14, it says, the second woe is past, speaking of World War II. And behold, the third woe, which is World War III, come quickly. So this third world war is going to come quickly, man. It's going to catch a lot of people off by surprise, because they not looking for the signs to see that Yahweh Shai is on his way back. And these rumors of wars, you seeing them uptake as we coming closer and closer to that mark, And then once they say to hell with it and crash this system, this dollar is going to implode, and that's when it's go time. Okay? So everything is being put into place right now, so everything can be prepared. Once everything gets ready to roll out, they can just roll this thing out back to back to back and have everything already set up in place to go. Now you're going to have to take whatever they're going to give to you, or you're going to have to defend for yourself. Okay? They're going to ration and give out to whoever they want to give out this amount this week, this amount the next week. Because this is going to be war. This is going to be wartime propaganda, and not only that, but this is going to be World War III, where they're gonna be rationing and giving out however many rations they want to give out to whatever individual it is. But in order for you to receive those rations, you're gonna have to go down to Egypt and receive that mark. Okay? Woe to them that go down to Egypt. Because you're going to pretty much seal your faith once you put that mark in your right hand or in your forehead. You're going to be along those ones that's going to drink the cup of the indignation of the Most High, the wrath of the Most High, which is going to be it poured out without what? Let's read that and then we're going to close out. This is verse 10. It says, the same should drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture. So you're going to get it full, straight, no chase, no mixing. You're going to get the full wrath. You're going to feel the full, intense heat where you're going to be able to still be up, where your soul going to be intact, to feel your tongue melt and your eyes melt. You're going to feel your tongue melt in your mouth, man. You're going to get the full mixture. You're going to get the full wrath, no mixture. It says, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation. And you should be tormented with fire and brimstone. That's them missiles. In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So, I mean, you go down to Egypt and get that mark because you didn't seek Yahweh while he may be found. And now you left to rely on this man and his devices. You're going to have to pay the ultimate price. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay? So this man is setting this thing up, man. And he's coming. Lock, stock, and barrel, man. He's coming and he's getting ready to roll this thing out. Whether you ready or not. You're going to have to get it in order to continue to receive your rations, your food, your shelters, your provisions from this man. So he's coming with it, man. So don't be taken by these propaganda, warlike tactics, because once that third world war pop off, it's going to come quickly. We read that in Revelation 11, the 14th chapter. The 11th chapter, the 14th verse. So, just keep watching. That's why we're going to close out in 1 Peter, where it says, be sober, be vigilant. Because you got to be on top of this thing. You got to know how this man is thinking, man. He's thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of the normal population. They're not going to see it because they so caught up in his pick a side between supporting the inhabitants of Israel or those who want to support the Hamas in Palestine. Okay? This man is this man is I don't want to give him credit, but he's an evil genius, man. He's getting you to deviate your attention on what he's doing by giving you something to occupy your mind where you can't see exactly what he's, cooking up in the background. Because make no mistake about it, he got it already put into place. He just had to get the perfect or close to the perfect ingredients to give it to you, so you'll take it. Okay, so he's already got it ready for you, man. Now he may come out with it straight without no chase, or he may use the chase and allow you to gradually go into the concept of putting a foreign object in your body by letting you first test drive it with a CBDC on your phone, like one of the allegedly whistleblowers said. The initial first phase may be, using a CBDC on your phone, or he may say the hell with it, man. You gonna need what he got so bad that he can just outright just say, okay, this is it. This is the mark. Take it or leave it. Shit could be so bad that he could feel like the general population is gonna come in and clamor for it because they gonna need so much assistance because shit gonna be so bad that they just gotta take whatever he giving to them. Especially because they didn't seek Yahweh while he may be found. They don't know what's going on. The famine of the word on hit. They left out here in the dark, naked. They don't got their garments on. That's it for them. So that's just what it is. Now let's go to 1 Peter 5 and 8 and let's close out. Rumor of Wars update. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, and it reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." You know, and if he can use this propaganda, just like he did back in the HC, you know, back when the Jews, you know, the so-called, were allegedly, you know, treated unfair by the Germans, you know, he brought about that propaganda, you know, World War II. You know, you see a common theme, you know, these wars bring out new policies and new ideologies, particularly, you know, circling around the central banks. This is a money grab scheme for them, man. So they seeing the BRICS trying to come up and do their own thing. They got to wage war. But this is all being orchestrated by the Most High to bring all these nations into one area where they could be all judged together at one time. So everybody is being put in this one place. So that's why you're going to see the draft. A lot of people going to be bought for one purpose and one purpose only, man. That's going to be judgment. All these nations are coming and being put in this one region, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, for Armageddon 3. For Armageddon, World War 3. You know? But that mark has to be implemented first. So, rumor of wars update, you know, this is what it is. So, hopefully somebody was able to take something from that. If it be the Lord will, until the next time, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.